Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about my 10 biggest money mistakes. If you're younger than me or around my age, you can learn from this and just don't make the same mistakes as me. So getting straight into the video, one of my biggest mistakes was buying my polo for 9k. That video, when I said it was 9k, I got so much hate from it. People in the comments were saying, oh my god, that's a rip-off, why did you buy it? And back then, I wanted to defend my car, so I would go on Auto Trader, find like a cheap link, and I was beefing them. I was like, no, it's not a rip-off. They were right, it was a rip-off. The main reason I even got that polo was because it had low mileage. I think it only had like 8k miles and it had a media screen. Guys, I wasted 9k on a car just because it had the little media screen. That should not be the reason you're buying a car. I was so stupid. I didn't know anything about cars. But yeah, I just needed a car with parking sensors, and I know I can get it installed, but I can't be bothered right now. Do not overspend thinking, oh yeah, you want these cool features like a media screen, all these extras. You don't need it. You just need a basic car. If I could go back in time, I would get a car that's done around 50 to 70k miles. I wouldn't be so insistent on getting a car that's done only 8k miles, you know. It's not a necessity. Also, don't try and buy a car that you can't afford in cash fully. So when I got that car, I had saved up during that summer working and stuff. So I had a lot of the money for it, but I did have to borrow some from my mum, who took out a loan for me, and I paid off every month. So it's not like I had 9k just ready in cash to pay for this car. Even though I'm saying this was a money mistake, one of the smart things I did was not financing it. Never ever finance your car because the interest rates are ridiculous. Even though my mum took out a loan, her credit score is perfect. Her loan interest rate was so low. Buy what you can afford. If you've only got 3k, try and find a car that you can get with 3k. Don't try and, get a fancy BMW, Audi or whatever. Like, no, live within your means. And yeah, I think priorities wise as well, a house or a flat is way more a priority than a car. So personally, I just don't think it's worth, paying so much for a car and then like not having a flat. Another big regret of mine is that I didn't start investing sooner. I only started investing now, as in 2022. If I had started investing when I started working at 16 years old, I would be just so much richer right now. I would have way more saved up, and I just wish I knew about investing and money and all of that back then. And when I say investing, the main thing I'm talking about is investing in the S&P 500 ETF. So I will be doing a separate video on how to invest and, the kind of investments that I would personally recommend. I think the safest investment is investing in the S&P 500, because if you look at the graph here, you can see that it just always goes up. Regardless of, COVID, recession, all of this, it goes down, but it goes up. And following on from that last one, another big money mistake of mine was not opening up my Help to Buy ISA sooner. So I don't think you can open up a Help to Buy ISA anymore, but you can open up a lifetime ISA. And it's basically a savings account where you put money in. The maximum you can put into a lifetime ISA is 4,000 a year. And then on that 4,000, when you buy your first property, the government will top it up by 25%. Do you know how crazy that is? That is insane. So for example, if this year I put in 4k, the government would give me 1k for free, so I'd have 5k. I would definitely recommend opening up a lifetime ISA. The reason I opened up a Help to Buy ISA instead of a lifetime ISA is Help to Buy ISA, you can take your money out without any fees, whereas if you put money into a lifetime ISA, if you try to withdraw it before you actually buy your property or for your pension, you do have to pay a withdrawal fee, and that's why I was like, I don't like the idea of this fee, and I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to buy a place straight away, right? So I just thought, let me just open up Help to Buy ISA, which is more flexible. But yeah, looking back now, I definitely regret it, because Help to Buy ISA, I could only put in £200 a month after that initial 1,200 in the first month. So it works out to be way less in a year than the lifetime ISA. The only thing is, if you think you're going to buy the property within a year, there's no point opening it, because you need to have your lifetime ISA account open for a year. And then only you can take the money out and get your top up. So if you're going to buy it sooner than a year, you're too late. Another huge money mistake of mine is not getting a credit card sooner. I only got a credit card, I think, in second year of uni. So I was 19, 20, around that time. It's not too late, but I feel like if I had opened up a credit card account at 18 years old, it would have just been a lot smoother to get a perfect credit score, whereas I only got my perfect credit score at the age of 25 now. It's not something that, if you're broke, you need to use a credit card. No, that's not how it works. Even if you're loaded, you need to have a good credit score, and to get a good credit score, you need to have a credit card. You need to show that you can spend on it and pay it back. And I know you guys really wanted me to do that credit score video, so that will be uploaded either next weekend or the weekend after that. So don't worry, I am going to do a full video on how to improve your credit score. My next big money mistake was wasting money on clothes, especially in the first year of uni. I feel like as soon as my student loan dropped, I was like, wow, I've never seen this much money ever.
Cadillac Goose. Cadillac Goose. SFE equals Canada Goose.
So when I had it in my account, I got too gassed. I spent so much money on Boohoo, misguided PLT. Thankfully, I never bought any designer things. I've never been like one of those material girls. But I was very stupid in buying like a lot of fast fashion, and it just wasn't necessary at all. I did not need that many clothes. Since then, I've had so many wardrobe clear outs. I've been selling my clothes at car boot sales, giving them away to charity shops, and just trying to cut down on the amount of clothes I have. Being a bit more minimalistic with your wardrobe is just easier. Like, it's just easier choosing outfits, because no matter how many clothes you have, realistically, you wear the same kind of outfits every single time. That's just the type of person I am anyway. Every time I used to go to uni and come back, like for the year, my packing took so long because I'd have like 3 suitcases full of clothes. Yeah, I wish I hadn't spent so much money on clothes and takeouts as well. My God, we bought so much food in that first year. I think cooking in a shared kitchen just wasn't for me. Another big money mistake of mine was not having a part-time job at uni. I always had full-time jobs during the summer holidays, but I never thought to get a part-time job during uni because I thought, oh, I need to get my first class. If I get a job, then I won't be able to revise. And looking back now, I just regret it so much because first of all, I did not need to get a first class. Yes, I got a first class, but really, like, what has it done? I don't feel any sense of like, oh, I got a first class. Like, you don't even mention it really. And I think for most jobs, you only need a 2-1. So I really didn't need to push myself and stress myself out so much just to get a first class because it didn't really mean that much. So yeah, if I could go back, I would have a part-time job all throughout uni. Even if I didn't have a part-time job, I feel like I should have at least spent more time on YouTube, because at the time especially, like, my uni vlogs were doing quite well. I feel like if I had done that a bit more regularly, had been a bit more dedicated, I could have made a bit more money, which at the time would have helped because, you know, as a uni student, you're always broke, so every little helps kind of thing. And kind of linking on to the last point, it is so important to have multiple income streams and side hustles. I feel like there's a lot of ways to make more money. Like I said, investing in ETFs, index funds, that kind of stuff. Even if you ignore the investing side, you can do so many other side hustles. So becoming a YouTuber is super easy. You can now make money from TikTok. You can become an Instagram influencer. You can open up an Etsy account and just sell stuff. So I don't know, if you're good at arts and crafts or you're good at drawing, then you can do like custom art. Custom art sells really well on Etsy. I've even bought it from there before, and it's just amazing. There's so many talented people out there. So if you've got a talent, I think it's good for you to monetize that and, you know, make that into an income stream, because at the end of the day, money is very important, and I don't think it's bad to make money from things that you enjoy doing.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
If you're good at photography or video editing, then you can, you know, advertise to be a freelancer on Gumtree and like Facebook groups and stuff like that, and you can definitely make a lot of money. I think my problem was that I always saw YouTube as a hobby. So as soon as exams came around or anything like that, I just put it to one side because it's not a job for me. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I need to do this. Whereas if you think of it as a job, you will turn up for it. So in a way, turning your passions into an income stream will make you more dedicated. So yeah, there's just so many side hustles you can do. Another good one is tutoring. I also did this for a little bit when I was in sixth form, I think. So if you're good at teaching, then you can definitely teach people younger than you, especially if you're Tamil. There are so many people that want tuition, so definitely you can do that. If you're good at a language, you can teach them that. If you're good at coding, you can do like coding lessons. My next money mistake is not making the most of cashback and just offers that you get from your credit card, your debit card, stuff like that. So for example, with my company, we have a cashback reward gateway. So anytime I buy anything, I just type in the shop that I'm buying from just to see if there's any vouchers, any cashback. And using that this year alone, I think I've saved about £200, which is crazy. You can save a lot of money from, you know, getting cash back, and it does accumulate. So don't be lazy. I think before I just thought, oh, what's the point in saving like £1-2? But if you think about how many things you buy over your lifetime, if you saved £1-2 every single time, that does add up.
Woohoo! Got it!
Even if your work doesn't offer you cashback, I think pretty much everyone's bank does offer some sort of cashback reward scheme. So I'm with Santander, and if I go on the app, there's so many different retailers that I can get cashback on. So just make sure to use those and save your money. Another thing I discovered recently is my 3 Rewards app. I'm with 3 for my phone, and oh my god, they have £3 Cineworld tickets every single weekend. I think I discovered this in April, and since then we've been going to the cinema so much more because, you know, it's only £3. The original price is like £12-13. So going as a family especially, you just save so much money. So make sure to check what kind of rewards you are entitled to and make the most of it. My final biggest money mistake is wasting money on dates and presents. At the time, even though you think it's long term, it's not long term. If I could get back all the money that I spent on guys, I would be so much richer right now. So yeah, I feel like if you're one of those girls that, you know, gets such nice, kind presents and all of that, don't do it until you know he's long term. You don't need to be that extra and spend so much money on a guy if they're not long term. One of my personal mistakes was spending so much money on dates during placement year in particular. I was working in London, so I was meeting up with guys like every week after work, and it was just so unnecessary. In a way, it was good because it gave me a lot more confidence. I was like, oh shit, like I've got it kind of thing. But it was a waste of money. Like I didn't need to go on dates to feel confident. Going to like fancy, nice places, it's just not needed, especially when you know you're not going to see them again. And I know this is slightly controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. All this time, I've always split the bill for dates. Like I've never had a guy pay for me. Only in long-term relationships, we kind of do a thing of like, oh, I'll get this one, you get the next one. But in all other dating situations, I've always split the bill. I've never let a guy pay for me. And I do look back now, and not gonna lie, a part of me does wish that, you know, those placement year dates that I went on, I knew that I'm not gonna see them again. I don't know why I insisted on paying and paid, as in my half, but still, like, I had this pride thing. I just didn't want a guy to feel like he's got, you know, something on me and that I owe him something. That's why I always paid for myself. But looking back now, I feel like I could have just got away with not paying, and I would have saved some coins. So yeah. Stefan is not happy with that one. Me back then would not say this. I was one of those girls that was like, oh, a girl should always pay her half. Like, why should a guy have to pay? Whereas now I'm like, you know, if a guy's offering, then that's his fault, innit? So make the most of it, sis. I didn't, and I wish I had. I think that's a good note to end it on. The next video I upload will either be a Q&A or my credit score video, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other video recommendations or any questions, leave them down below and I will answer them. Speak to you guys later. Bye!
What a wonderful